you also mentioned, working as an assistant and getting those
Oh,
recommendation
yeah.
letters and getting those experiences outside of school. How early do you think that students should start looking into that?
I would give yourself as much runway as possible to get off the ground. The sooner the better, but make it make sense. I have some friends that were like, "Oh, I'm taking three AP classes and I'm working full time, and also like I miss my family and I gained 40 pounds." Don't sacrifice your own well-being. Don't sacrifice your social things. Like, don't get me wrong, it's demanding, it takes time.
Hmm.
In the amount of time, well, when I was studying for the MCAT, one of the hardest exams you will ever take. I met my fiance two months before I took the exam. I got engaged 1 year later to the day. I met some of my best friends. I had some incredible experiences, and I'm very thankful. I know people that in their studying, they missed out on a lot of things. They missed out on a lot of opportunities, and in a way, they're kind of torturing themselves. Don't torture yourself. It's okay to spread it out a little bit, make it fit, and that's doable. If you care about it, you will make it work. I'm a very busy person, but I'm also a very busy person because no one can tell me, no, you cannot exercise today. You cannot eat today. You cannot sleep today. No one can ask you to not do that. No one can ask me not to spend time with my 81-year-old grandmother or my dog, or my family, or my fiance, or my best friends. Gaming is very important for me. I make some time for a game. I play some Halo. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But if it's important, you will find the time. There is always time. It can be stressful, and sometimes you do have to miss things, and that's understandable. But I promise you, there is always time that can be allotted. But the sooner you start, the more you are able to spread things out. The more, hey, I got that under my belt. I built those relationships and connections. I don't have to sandwich everything into a short period of time where, wait, I still need research hours and I need clinical hours and I need to finish my degree and I need to find a partner and I need to like see my family. Give yourself some time, give yourself some breathing room. Don't procrastinate. Don't procrastinate. Imagine yourself down the line. Don't look back and be like, what the hell was I thinking, man? Try to not think of things day to day. Try to think about your timeline week to week, month to month. Where do I want to generally be? I still do this, and it saves me so much stress because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get this essay done by Thursday. So on Friday, I can focus on my flashcards for my other class. So I can go see my fiance, so we can go watch the Grinch movie, which I still haven't seen watching this weekend. So I can also go to my friend's birthday party. So I can go to my friend's house coming. So I can go to my study session on Tuesday without stress. Think about things in that framework. You do not need to last minute be like, what do I need to do? Where's my calculator? Like, don't freak yourself out. A lot of people freak themselves out. So much unnecessary stress, so many gray hairs, so many Guatemalans, man. I love it.
All right, so speaking of the MCAT, so
Oh boy.
and you did mention the MCAT a couple of times, and I wanted to
Unfortunately.
ask, yes, and then you also mentioned the GPA, and it sounds like they play like a really big role in terms of trying to get into middle school.
Yeah.
But I do want to ask because when you're filling out these applications, I mean, there's the personal essays and all those kind of things and experiences that you're gaining, work experiences that you gain outside of school. So, in terms of weighing between the two, how would you define which one, or is it maybe person to person based, which one in general in an application has more weight? Is it the experiences and the personal stories in the application, or is it really the numbers on like the MCAT and your GPA?
That is tough. I'd say your GPA in general, especially if you are pivoting, that is something that will always matter. So it took me some time to realize that. And thankfully, I was able to bring it back around and start trying in the last 2 years of my high school and running start experience. I was able to bring that back. I'm very thankful that I brought my GPA up because that has helped me in general because I
Mhm.
mean, with job applications too, like that's something I put on there. Like, yeah, I have a good grade point average. I'm a good student. I'm a good learner. So I think in terms of how flexible and how applicable it is to multiple situations, the GPA overall is just very helpful to have. Now, specifically when it comes to medicine, an MCAT carries a lot of weight. It carries a lot of weight because that literally, like an SAT or an ACT, I took the ACT. Holla at your boy. Um, an MCAT will determine again, if this matters to you, which schools, what caliber of school you are eligible for. Some people, that little number matters more to them than anything else. And I think that is a harmful notion to have because it
Hmm.
is important. It is not the end all be all, but kind of like your GPA, it can lock you out of schools. So does it need to be the highest GPA, MCAT in the world? No, it does not. If you have a 510, even if you have a 506, like if you've got a decent score, stick with it. Do not waste the time. It's expensive. It costs a few hundred, like 400, $500 to take it, let alone to schedule the damn thing. Do not torture yourself. Do not throw resources away. If you've got a good score and you can go to a decent school that's geographically where you would like it to be located with a good program, do not sink so many resources, years of your life. I've seen too many people personally that I know throw years of their life away to increase their score by like 5 points. Is that worth it for you? Is that worth it for you? You have to ask yourself that question. I know for me, I don't know if this speaks to me as a student or not, but it's like at a certain point, it doesn't matter, dude. When you're actually practicing as a physician, when you're treating patients, I've never talked to a doctor and said, "So, did you go to Harvard? Did you go to Yale? They're like, how did you do on your midterm exams? Like, what? Are you an idiot? Like, what are you talking about, dude?" I've seen people who have gone to Ivy League schools, work in the same office, get the same patients, same paychecks, blah blah blah, as people who have gone to lesser ranked schools. It is not an end all be all. It is important. Give it the time it deserves. Do not torture yourself over minuscule, stupid, superficial crap like a 2 point difference. But the MCAT's important. It is important. And if it's too low, it can lock you out of all schools. If you get a decent enough score, you will be taken somewhere. You just have to kind of have a broader net, cast a broad net when you're applying to medical schools. But for me, like what's important is geography. I like to be close to family, so I have like a very high interest in going to one specific school in my area. Um, so it's valuable to me to get a specific score. So maybe look at the list of schools in your state if you're trying to go in state, or if you want to go to California. A lot of people want to go to California, Florida, whatever. See what their GP, what their MCAT requirements are, and usually those are rigid. They're not gonna like give you much leeway. Your personal statement and stuff, yeah, it should be unique to you, and that is your first introduction of, hi, this is who I am, and it should be unique to you. It should be passionate. It should be important, but that has a lot more wiggle room than an MCAT. An MCAT takes so much time and resource investment. So give it the respect it deserves,
Oh my
which I
gosh.
need to do. I need to go study for mine right now, actually.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, don't be.
$400. Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's rough.
I mean, speaking of like, there's so many things involved in trying to get into middle school. I mean, what are the biggest struggles that you faced while trying to prep for medical school?
Oh boy. Oh, no. Is this podcast going to be 45 hours long? My biggest issue has been the MCAT. I'm going on my fifth MCAT. So now all of that advice, people who are watching now are like, I don't know if I'm trusting anything this guy just said. He's taking his MCAT for the fifth time. You joking right now? I will admit, yeah, I could be studying more rigidly. I will say I tried self-study the first few times. It is so hard to do self-study. It is really hard to do self-study because the whole way I'm like, I don't know if I'm where I need to be, how far I am.
Hmm.
You see so many different things on the internet and Reddit being like, oh, like I studied for like 10 minutes and I was fine. And someone was like, I've been studying since birth and I don't know anything. So I personally thankfully part of my master's program, they actually part of our tuition was paying for an MCAT prep course. So I'm actually taking one with a calendar and with a schedule and with question banks and with practice tests and all this stuff. That has helped me feel much more confident. Still doing Anki decks, which are basically these like flashcards that as you learn them, you say if it was easy, hard, very easy. And based off those responses, it will reintroduce those decks, those flashcards to you on like a 1 day interval. Then it will extend it out to 3 days. And it's just kind of like spaced repetition to help you learn. Highly recommend that. If you haven't heard of it, look up Anki, the Miles Down deck. There's these different Anki decks people recommend. You can get those for free. You do like a few hundred of them a day. I'm actually going to do some of that after this interview. So that's vital. question banks. There are free resources that make a difference, but I need some kind of a structure. I need some kind of a like, okay, I have an idea of where I'm at. But yeah, the MCAT has been the most difficult part for me. For most people, the MCAT is the most difficult part. Everything else is mostly just can you allot your time? Like go get a job, be in these spaces, shadow, building those connections with a physician or whatever medical professional, dental, whatever that you want to work with. It's important to show to these schools and programs, yeah, I know what it's like. I know what the environment's like. I know what I'm getting into. You should not go into an interview. You should not apply to a school when you're like, oh, that's what medicine's like? What? That's not going to help you. That's not going to get you very far. You should have an idea. Shadowing, I would just get right on that. But secondary to the MCAT, again, that GPA. I mean, once you've got the GPA, there's not much you can do. You can go take courses to like boost it or whatever, but that's just time and resources. Just get it done like right away. Your GPA, get it right the first time. But for me personally, I found the other stuff like it's just a time commitment. The
Hmm.
MCAT has really been the bane of my existence. I hate the MCAT. I hate it. It's the worst thing. They ask you such random questions about random things that are not relevant to like your career as a doctor, like to such a degree that I'm like, I just spent 3 months studying for a test that as soon as I take that test, that 3 months basically meant nothing. But on the flip side, it is the jumping off point to the rest of your life. So like, okay, what's 3 months to the rest of your life? So I have a pretty hate relationship with him.
Speaking of a waste of time,
Oh boy.
can you share something that like probably didn't help you or didn't, it turned out to be a waste of time?
That's a great question. Something that was detrimental that was a waste of time. I'd say that's tough. Being just time management. Like getting that motivation was kind of like procrastinating. Like literally wasting time was a waste of time. I will say. Like every day, get first of all, pull out that for you watching at home, go ahead, pull out that calendar app. Okay. First step, get that calendar app out. And just every day be like, okay, from like 8 to 3 o'clock or 8 to 4, or build some gaps in there or whatever, I will be studying from 8 to 4, uninterrupted, or for like 3 hours I'll study, take like a workout break, a lunch break, whatever, come right back to it. I generally like to say like, okay, from the morning when I wake up from like say 9 or 8 a.m. till like let's say 6 o'clock with some like food and some workout in there. Just studying, and then at night I don't think about it at all. Give yourself some compartmentalization, give yourself that time, but do not hit your head against the wall and just keep going and saying, wait, I can keep stuff. I can fit in more flashcards. I can do one more practice test. I can do 10 more question banks. Do not suffocate yourself with content. And not just in medicine, just in anything. Your brain, like any muscle, you have a limit. You have a capacity limit. And at a certain point, you're just taking something in passively, but it is not sticking to your brain. Your brain is fried. Give yourself a break. Give it some breathing room. Like working out in the gym for like 6 hours a day is not healthy. Like chugging uh, gallons of water, that's gonna kill you. Like the more of a good thing is actually a bad thing.
Hmm.
Um, give yourself breaks. Do not drown. Compartmentalize. Give yourself allotment of time to just not think. Just shut your brain off. Give it some breathing room and enjoy your time. That's been the biggest waste of my time is just not being better about being like, let's just lock in. Let's just lock in right now.
So all in all, what people can take away that can help them is we're having a calendar, working with a calendar, scheduling things out in a week as a weekly basis so that you give yourself time to, well, have a life and give your brain a
Yes,
break and give your body a break,
for sure.
and spend time with friends and family,
Yes.
and knowing when to sign off on studying and just leave it, just carry it forward to the next day. It doesn't need to be, it, it's not gonna stick in your brain now, so might as well just wait until the next day.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of repetition. You're not going to do everything in one day. You're not going to do everything in one week. It's repetition day by day. Cramming is not going to get like this is a marathon, and you really need to pace yourself. You really need to pace yourself. There are some people who just lock themselves in their basement and they just go hard and they miss some parts of their life they're never gonna get back. You get one time to go through all these life stages, enjoy those life stages, still work hard, but give yourself time for life experiences, man. Like I have people who, yeah, they did well in the MCAT after spending 3, 4 years on it, but in that 3, 4 years, they missed out on people's weddings, like the birth of cousins and close friends as kids, and maybe meeting the love of their life. I mean, not that it's too late, but you're setting yourself back in other ways, and that is going to get to you. It is going to mess you up emotionally. It can mess you up physically. It often does. You've got to find balance in all things. Sometimes you do have to. Oh man, we're 1 week away from the MCAT. We're 2 weeks away. I got my final exam. Okay, yeah, maybe in that time period, okay, I'm locking in. I'm going to be in my basement, but there's a reason there's a lot of bad healthcare for professionals that overlook you, that don't think about your needs because, yeah, they're book smart, but they don't have that bedside manner. They don't have that personal connection because they're just focused narrow scope on just that educational thing. It's like you need to go out and live a life and build connections with people. And I'm thankful that I've done that despite my shortcomings. I'm happy. I'm stressed, but I'm happy. Like you wouldn't know it, but that's because I do a good job of giving myself that time for struggle and for relaxation.
I bet you whoever's listening to this or watching this is gonna be like, okay, when is it gonna become a doctor already so he can be my
I know 10 years from now, I'm
doctor?
still going to be like, guys, I'm on my 15th MCAT. There is a lifetime limit, by the way. It is seven. If you mess up 7 times, you're like, sorry, baby girl. Like you just got to stick with it.
Oh
Um,
wow.
so like 10 years from now, I'll be like, all right, so medicine didn't work out, but let's see what career I'm telling you about today.
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, hopefully it does because you sound very passionate about it, and it sounds like you would be like a really, really great doctor. And from what I can see now, and from what I saw in person, I feel like you'd be a really great pediatrician. Yeah, you'd be great with kids. So,
That'd be dope. And serving any community is awesome. And there's so many things to do in medicine. It's such a little universe. And
mhm,
that's something that's helpful too. What do you want to do? Because they will ask you what you want to do.
mhm,
So it's helpful to if you're interested in being a pediatrician or a radiologist or a surgeon. A lot of people want to do surgery. Ask them what the hell is your life like? Like, what are the downsides? What's your worst day look like? What's your best day look like? What's your work-life balance? What's the day-to-day life responsibilities? These are all important things to ask sooner
mhm.
rather than getting into the medical school and you go into your residency and they're like, well, what training do you want to go into? And you're like, oh, that sounds cool. And you're like, wait, I get like no time off and I won't see my family at all and I'm stressed all the time. Like, know what you want to do before you get into it so you can at least give yourself some direction,
Yeah,
Probe
learning
around.
about the lifestyle early to see
Yeah.
whether or not that's the lifestyle you want. Which,
Yeah.
I mean that brings me to the point of like mentors and advisors, asking them questions and such. And it sounds like having a mentor and advisor is super helpful. So, do you have any recommendations on how to find one?
For one, if you're in college or in high school or whatever, you should have an academic counselor. And I highly recommend taking advantage of this resource. That helped me get back on track GPA wise. That helped me to build a career plan, and they helped to build my schedule, especially in college. They helped build my class schedule and my curriculum towards being successful for that specific degree or for that major. What do medical school needs? They need these prerequisites. We can get you in touch. A lot of schools have those resources. That's your first option. In addition to that, again, looking for work or for shadowing. Shadowing is a lot easier. You just send emails out and be like, "Hi, I'm a pre-med student. Um, I just want to come. May I come in?" Blah blah blah. So if you're over 18, very easy to get in. They get those questions all the time. It does not hurt to ask. Just shoot those emails out there to the supervisors, call front desks, be like, hey, I just wanted to see about shadowing. How do I go about that? What are the steps for that? That never hurts. That's a good first step. And then thirdly, I would recommend if you have the time or if you have the capability or after you graduate, take some time, maybe like a year is like a solid amount of time. Medical assistant is a solid job. You do not need to be certified, at least in the state of Washington. Like being registered is good enough. You save a lot of time. I'm all about the time. Being a scribe or something, just being in that environment, seeing what the processes are like, building those connections with the actual, high tier professionals who've been doing this for years. I'm talking like your nurses, your nurse practitioners, your physician's assistants, your physicians, DO, MD, dental, whatever it is you want to go into. Build those connections and be like, okay, what do you recommend? What do you wish that you knew? And then have your own little Jessica coffee break convo interview with them and be like, so, like, when you're going through it, like, blah, blah, blah. Because everyone's got their own unique experience, and people have told me if I could do things over again, I would not have become a doctor. I would have done something else. I would have been a physician's assistant. I wish I knew this, that there's so many pitfalls. It is a very annoying journey. It is a very annoying journey. It is a taxing journey. Some people it is less taxing for, others it is just all demanding, all encompassing. So you are only doing yourself a service by going into these spaces and asking questions. If you're just going through the motions and mommy and daddy just really want you to be a doctor, wow, that's so cool. You're going to be unhappy. More likely than not, you will be unhappy
Hmm.
and you will have regrets if you don't do yourself the service. Going and asking some simple questions and investigating, it does not take that much time. It really does not.
Thanks for the plug. And you fit that in there very well. And I mean, what is something that you didn't know that you wish you knew going to this? Now I'm gonna ask you.
You were supposed to ask that question. Something I wish I knew going in, and I actually have said this. I wish I knew how, especially for like stuff like research. I wish I did research like in terms of making the time to go up to like an academic institution like UW, University of Washington, or something, and working in a lab for research. That's something that not necessarily like a need. It helps quite a bit. So you're always trying to set yourself aside from the average applicant. The average applicant is going to have less credentials. So if you have a really good MCAT and you have a good GPA, that's great. I have a slightly worse GPA. I have a significantly worse MCAT, but I have also a much more well-rounded application. I have what 2,000 hours, something like 3,000 hours of clinic hours. That is hands-on experience. That's patient face-to-face experience. That is experience in the hospital system, in the medical system, actually seeing it and being part of it and going, yeah, despite how shitty it can be, I actually really enjoy this and I want to take that next step. I have more life experience there. That's going to set you apart. But something I wish I knew, in addition to that, I also wish I knew how huge, again, to come back to it, the MCAT, how massive it is, how much it demands of you, how important it is. I would have done these things. I would have gotten that medical assistant job. I would have probably tried to do that sooner, earlier on. And I did it pretty early too, but I would have really tried to get that MCAT out of the way sooner. So I'm 26 years old, and it is like a 4 to 8 year something process, like 4 years medical school, which can include residency and stuff. And then depending on what track you want to go with, that being a surgeon, a pediatrician, whatever, that's an additional 3, 4 years of training on top of that before you really establish in your career. So
Hmm.
it's a time intensive thing. That's why I'm harping so much on time, 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 time. It's not like law where it takes like 3 something years, 4 years, in addition to your undergrad. It's a long journey. It's as you said, like people are putting their lives in your hands. It's important that you are prepared to undertake that for people. But I really wish that I was more cognizant of those prerequisites that admissions programs require. Volunteering, clinic hours, like job experience, MCAT, um, GPA. I would have tried to get some of these things done a bit sooner, earlier on in my timeline, to give myself a little more peace of mind going forward. So start early, as soon as you can. Getting these things done
So
will only
start when you're
benefit you.
12, basically.
Yes, I mean, ideally, I honestly, if you want to be as successful as possible, they want to know that you have longevity with your thoughts and your actions in this process. It's daunting. It's scary. It is very scary.
Hmm.
And I think it's part of why there's a healthcare shortage and why there are not enough people getting treated.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we definitely need more doctors. It's just not a lot of people. I think a lot of people, because of everything that you mentioned, do get scared away of like, oh, that's a lot of time and effort and
Money and
years put into
resources, yeah.
this. But
Yeah, it's
I
rough.
mean, if you're going to the medical field, it is required. It can't be something that like, oh, I do business for 4 years undergrad and then MBA for another three or whatnot, and then I work in a corporate environment. It's like it's not it's very different. You're not handling products, you're handling people and their health. So it's very, very different. End of part 2. To be continued in part 3 next week.